Family friendly. This is a family friendly podcast with the conversation guy and Brian. Let's go. Go family fun time.
So, Brian, we're going to talk about your love for nature.
All right.
What do you love most about nature?
The grounding effect of it all. Like when you just get outside and you're just like, when I get outside and I'm just chilling and it's just like listening to everything around me makes me feel more connected to earth, like the sun, even the rain. Like I feel like even the rain, I love rainy days. Like most people don't like rainy days and I'm super outdoors person, but even if it's like raining outside, I'll still try to find a spot to sit outside and just listen to the rain, like hit the top of the roof or whatever, or just chill in the car. That's like super soothing to me. I feel like just being outside and being involved in nature is super soothing to me, especially when it comes to, like I say, like the age that we're in now. It is like there's always a screen in your face. So just taking away like a moment to step away from that and just like think and listen to the sounds of the world, that's like super important to me. But I love everything about nature. I've growing up in California, being 20 minutes, 15 minutes away from the beach. Like that was the move all the time for me. If I didn't have anything else going on, I'd just go chill by the beach and just listen to the waves crash and the people watching and stuff like that. Low key, yeah. I feel like it does. There'll be some times when I wake up and like I'll be happy that it's dreary out and just like not the happiest looking of days, because sometimes I feel like that's how I feel. So sometimes there will be days where it'll match up and then it'll be other days where I'm like, damn, like this is not the move right now. Like I'd rather be doing something else, but I can't. But I feel like it does play a big part in my mood. Maybe I don't believe in like astrology too much, but I feel like that might be a little bit of the Pisces in me. You know, I'm super emotional, I've been told.
The weather determine what type of activities you'll get into that day or for that week.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a straight up cloudy day.
Yeah.
You start pre-planning what you'll get into.
I try to pre-plan my days, but that's just a part of me that wants to make sure like I'm always doing something. And I have a part in me that makes me feel like if I'm not doing something most of the times that I'm not being productive, which is bad because I'm trying to break. I feel like a part of it is the capitalistic society that we live in. It's like if you're not doing something that's generating some sort of value, even like mainly monetary value, that you're wasting your time. A lot of times I'll try to plan out my day and I'll just be like, dude, I don't want to do anything. And that's okay. And I just like try to find comfort in that and realize like, okay, maybe it's a day I just need to chill out.
Everyone has watched National Geographic as a kid, but how intrigued were you about that channel?
Dude, I love National Geographic, especially with the homies. Like in high school, we get I mean, I know we're family friendly, but can I talk about my past stoner experiences? Well, we had like it was this group of people. When I was a freshman, I kind of like I used to go to a lot of raves and stuff. This is back when I lived in Arizona, but I used to go to a lot of raves, and so like I never did like any drugs or anything back then. But there was some guys that I knew through choir. My homie named Izzy. If you ever watching this, shout out Izzy, day one for sure. Yeah, he invited me over to his crib, and then he was like a junior, I want to say. So him and a few of his other homies, like they would get together every weekend and just like get like a quarter, which is like 7 grams of weed, and just like snacks and everything and just chill. And so that was like my first introduction into the lifestyle. But we would watch Planet Earth all the time. Like we get super ripped and watch Planet Earth. This is like I fucked with nature and like National Geographic and all that stuff before any of this, but this like really like brought it in a whole different light, because watching that like super fried was like, damn, this is crazy. Like Earth is crazy. So National Geographic, I mean, like, yeah, like Jeff Corwin, that was my guy, bro. Like shout out Steve Irwin, you know, that's the OG RIP. But Jeff Corwin, bro, like if you know, then you know. He was a dope ass dude. He was like a kind of like a little bit more entertainment than Steve Irwin was like educational on the educational side. So, but yeah, I fuck with National Geographic heads and everything like Planet Earth, Shark Week. I love sharks. That's my favorite animal. Shark Week, every time that comes around, I'm super stoked on that.
Do you document your time spent in nature? And if you do, how so?
I do to some degree. Like when I go run, I'll post like some scenes, like some scenery and stuff like that. Or if I go have a picnic or whatever, like I'll post that up. And then I'll just try to take pictures for myself sometimes. Like I'll go off the trail, off the beaten path, so to speak, and just see what I can get into. Feel like a little kid again, you know?
Are you one of those people that uses the outdoors to be physically fit? Like me, for instance, I've never had a gym membership because I feel like outside could be your gym.
Facts. I'm the same way. Yeah, I'm not like a very indoor workout type of person. If I can go outside and get my exercise in, I'll do it that way. Just cause like I don't know, like I want to get into the gym more because I want to lift more. But even then, like I can do that at home. I can do that outside. I can get weights and go somewhere, you know. And then I feel like it helps me be a little bit more like to myself. Because when you go in the gym, there's like that. I don't know. I guess like that egotistical mindset of like that you can kind of feel. And then I guess also that's like coming from other people. But then too, there's a part of you that's like a little bit insecure because you are unfamiliar with like how to work your way around and navigate around a gym if you're not like a super gym type person. So I don't know. I'm the same way. I like to just chill outside and get my workout in that way.
Does the outdoors have a positive mindset on your mental health?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, there'll be days where like I'll wake up and I'll just be super depressed. Like I was going through that a lot. Maybe like a little bit before COVID and like going into COVID, like probably 2019 through 2021 was like super, super hard for me mentally, not because of COVID or anything, but just like a bunch of other stuff that I was going through in life. Adopting, excuse me, going out and just like regardless of me feeling some type of way, going outside always helps. Like after I'm done running or after I'm just done like taking a little mental break outside, I'll always feel more energized and more refreshed.
You talked about the pros of being out there in nature. What are some cons of having a love for nature?
I guess when you can't enjoy it and you feel like that's what you need, whether it be like being busy, like being super busy for weeks on end and not having that time to go out in nature. I don't know. There's not really like too many cons of being in nature. I guess like watch your back. So I feel like as a guy, it's a lot easier for us to be able to enjoy the world, unfortunately. But like if you're like a female or something and you're trying to go to a secluded spot and chill and do your thing, like I feel like you gotta be a little bit more aware of your surroundings. Obviously, you always gotta be aware of your surroundings, but yeah, I guess that would probably be the only con. Yeah, I don't think there's too many cons to being in nature. You're more susceptible to risk or like hurting yourself, but
I've been to Montana, and it has to be one of the most beautiful states that I've ever been to. So, what about you? What is the most beautiful state you feel like you've encountered?
well, I've been to a lot of places. Hmm. I think I'm just like a West Coast baby, so it'll always be California. Yeah, like just there's nothing that beats going to the beach for me. And then like the mountain aspect of it too, you can hike. You know, and even if you want to go up north more, then get like really into the mountains, you have snowboarding and all sorts of things. Like I've never been too far up north, past like San Francisco or anything like that, but yeah, I say California for
The next question, I feel like you've already answered it. It was going to be, what is the state with the most outdoors activities to you? And you being a California baby, I'm
yeah.
assuming you would have probably said Cali.
I mean, yeah, just for like that always being like good weather, you know, like I feel like there's always good weather in California. Here's cool too. Like when I moved here, it wasn't that big. It's just it's a lot more trees, but you can still do outdoor stuff. Like instead of beaches now, I just go to a lot of lakes and rivers, and like I find water wherever I go. So yeah, like I just switch from beaches to rivers and creeks, and yeah.
Have you ever visited the Grand Canyon National Park?
No, but I want to. But then it's like at the same time, I feel like it's one of those things. It's like you see it once and you're just like, oh, so this is what everybody made a big deal out of. But it looks cool. Like I have friends that I follow and they go there all the time that still live in Arizona. So it'd be a good place to check out. But no, I've never been. Nah, I've never been to Yellowstone. I think bucket list like state park or whatever it would be called would be like the redwoods, like the redwood trees, the ones that are like super huge and like hundreds, thousands of years old. I want to go there. I'm gonna take some mushrooms and go there for sure.
What lessons have you learned being out there in nature?
Resilience, thinking on the spot. Like there'll be times where I'll go and I'll forget something and it's like, okay, well, I just got to make it work. Getting out of your comfort zone, not being afraid to spark conversations with random people that you just see like out and about on the trails. Like there's been times where I've been chilling all by myself and a group of people walk by and they'll just see me chilling. Like it was one time and these guys are like, oh, like they were smoking a blunt. And they're like, oh, like we noticed you were chilling. Do you want the rest of it? Don't take drugs from strangers, kids. But yeah, like that was cool. There'll be times where it's like families fishing and I'll, did you catch anything? And then like you have a whole conversation with them. And then now it's like, this whole person's life story. Yeah, just getting out. That just is in general, not even being in nature, but just going out in society. Like isolation, I feel is a big thing right now. So like we're humans and we need that social element. And like no matter how like socially anxious you are, you can always remove yourself from a situation too. So that's something that I try to encourage people to do who are a little like socially anxious and just like timid about getting out and going places by themselves. It's like nobody's holding you hostage when you go to these places. So if you want to go somewhere and like eat by yourself, like none of that shit is weird to me. Like like being by yourself and doing things by yourself is not weird. At one point I spent so much time waiting for other people to do things and I was like, I'm missing out on too much. So I just started doing things by myself. I started going to the movies. I started going out in nature. I started doing all the things that it is that I wanted to do. But instead of waiting on like the companionship to do it, I just do it. And so, yeah, like just put yourself out there. I think that's like one of the greatest benefits of like one of the greatest lessons I've learned from just going out, being in nature and just being in the world is, the people you meet, like those times where I've met people and I've been on day long adventures with them and I never knew anything about them when I first met them, but it's like now I'm seeing all these crazy things that I never would have saw if I would have listened to the voice in my head that told me not to go out today. So
Have you ever been in bear territory while in nature?
no, I just came back. I don't think so. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's bears in LJ maybe. I just came back from there a couple like early December. And they said there was going to be bears and animals and stuff, but I didn't see any bears. But the irony of that was when I came back from my trip, there was a deer in my front yard. Like in the suburbs, like I went out to the middle of nowhere. Like you can't hear a thing. Like you walk outside of your cabin, it's super quiet. And then there's no animals, but to come home in the city and there be a full grown deer in my front yard. I'm like, bro, what?
In nature, one wrong move and that's your life. So describe a time when you came close to death while being in the outdoors.
I remember I was hiking one time with it was my brother, his homie, and his homie's girl. And there was like this rock face that was pretty steep, but you had to like cross it to get to the next part of the trail. And literally if my homie's girl wasn't there to catch my hand, I would have probably fell down like I don't even know how far, maybe like 100-foot, 50-foot cliff. Like it was insane, bro. Like I'm like, she's like, all right, like be careful. And, like I'm going, and like as soon as I step on the rock, I kind of like lost my footing. So like I reach my hand out, and she grabs my hand and pulls me back up, and I'm like, bro, like that would have been a wrap.
So are there times you still think about that to this day?
Yeah. And that's why, like, I always try to make sure, like, I'm prepared and I'm, like, calculated. Like, I always have a first aid kit with me wherever I go. Albeit a small one. I mean, it's better that than nothing. Like, I'll keep a knife with me. Yeah, everything, every safety equipment I need to make sure that I'm okay if something happens. But yeah, nah, that shit, like, spooked me. That was super spooky.
Are you a fan of sunrise?
Yeah, I like sunrises. I like sunsets more than sunrises, but I made it knowing I made it through the day. Made it through another day.
One of the things I'm trying to do is take a sunset picture at the Santa Monica Beach Pier.
Yeah,
because I heard it's famous for their sunset, so that's one of the things I'm trying to do.
What would be sick would be to get like a drone shot too. Like kind of get a drone shot from like the outside of the pier, like looking into like the pier and the like the rest of the city. So you get like the Ferris wheel, you catch the sunset, you can catch like some of the beach like area and everything, the cityscape. But yeah, Santa Monica Pier, that's where they all be taking their photos and stuff. Yeah. Have you ever been to California? To California in general?
No.
Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah. You'll love it.
There's so many places in California. It's just like, I don't, No offense, but to those born and raised in LA, but I feel like there's other places worth visiting other than LA.
Yeah.
Santa Monica is definitely one of them.
Yeah, and it's like a tourist trap. Like that's all you hear, so that's all you know. Like when the average person hears like, oh, California, like the first thing they think about is Hollywood. But it's so much more than just that. Like if anything, LA is not all it's cracked up to be. But if you haven't been, like for sure go. You know.
For me personally, I think Northern California is more beautiful than Southern California.
Right, because you get more trees. Like it's kind of like here, you get more trees, you get more mountains, things like that. Like it's pretty similar. That's why I said like it's pretty similar, just a lot more trees.
So visiting a national park may be different this year and ongoing because Trump has fired over 1,000 service employees, including park rangers. How big will this affect you personally since you're a fan of the outdoors?
Well, I can't speak on the Trump thing because I don't get involved in politics too much. Not by like choice. Well, I guess it's kind of by choice, but I just don't find it very fascinating, even though I guess I should because it's got a lot to do with our future and everything. Excuse me. But I don't go to too many I don't go to too many like campgrounds or national parks or anything like that. So I don't think I'll face any sort of
Yeah, because I was reading
backlash from that, but yeah.
Because I was reading an article saying how a lot of people, especially that have summer plans to just go to a national park,
Yeah.
that may have to be on hold. Because I guess since he just got sworn into office a couple months ago, he just did like sweeping changes. So it's just like
That's crazy, dude. Like, why? Like the parks. That's
like in park rangers, they're necessary. They go around making sure people are safe.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, that I mean, that's the first time I even heard that he was doing that. So I think that's insane to try to like take that away from the people who live in your country to enjoy those national parks.
So it's like if you're trying to go to Yellowstone Park, then
Yeah.
you put on hold now because
There's no park ranger to hold it down. Nah, that's
Grand Canyon, same thing. So it's like, man,
that's crazy. Nah, I mean, I haven't had any plans to go to any of those places, but I mean, that was something to take into consideration if I think about it.
when you have a love for nature, you love the daytime and the nighttime. So do you have an appreciation for the moon?
Yes. Yeah. Big appreciation for the moon. I feel energized from the moon. Like if it's a full moon, I definitely feel like a different sense of I don't know how to say it, just like a spark in my soul. I want to get a telescope so I can look at planets more. That would be fun. I feel like that would be one of the things that it is. Like when I was talking about new hobbies and stuff, getting a telescope to check out the stars. Because being out here, like even in the city, you can still see the stars and the moon and everything like really good.
Do you know any cameras that are good for capturing pictures of the moon?
I don't. My film knowledge is very limited. At least like on equipment. Like I don't know any equipment. I couldn't tell you what that camera is. I couldn't tell you what this mic is or what these lighting posts are for. So no, I'm not the camera equipment aficionado guy.
Since we're living in an age of increased technology, how will it impact the time that you spend in nature?
I don't know. That's why I said I try to gatekeep spots because I feel like I don't want a lot of people there like blowing it up, like just going to get like photos and like Instagrams and shit, stuff like that. I don't know. Like it's funny because you see those videos on Instagram where it's like social media versus reality, and it'll be like people like trying to take photos and making it look like they're the only people in this spot, and then there's like another camera and there's like hundreds of people waiting in a line to get a photo of like a rock or like a sick spot or something like that. It's like, but if everybody was there just enjoying it and going about their day, I feel like it would be so much better. So I don't know. Like I just hope that, like how you say they're taking away park rangers. Like why are you taking away human beings? Like what are you going to replace a human being with? So I don't know if they're going to bring in some sort of robot patrol out there. Like I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how technology will impact from like I guess like a global warming standpoint. It's not good because.
So do you feel like you love nature to the point where it doesn't matter what technology gets released, like you will choose nature over like whatever?
Yeah, like I'm not about to throw on a VR headset and be like, unless it gets to the point where it's like some Sword Art Online type VR headset for the people who know what Sword Art Online is, like basically you can put on a whole like headset and you're just immersed into like a MMORPG or something like that. Like if it got to the point where I could do that, yeah, sure, okay, I'm there all day. But even then, I still feel like your body would want to be outside. But nah, I don't think there's anything that can replicate the feeling and the sound and the sensation that you get from physically being outside in nature.
Have you ever watched Dragon Ball Z as a kid?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
remember how when if they have a tail, when the Saiyans have a tail during a full moon,
yeah.
they just turn into
A fucking beast.
Do you feel like as a kid that you just used to just scream outside? That was the
It just go outside and just run around and scream.
Yeah, that's something I used to do.
Yeah,
So getting older, it made me appreciate nature. So that's something I used to do as a kid. I see Goku turn into an ape. I'm like, man, and I used to scream. I used to react due to it.
Yeah.
But then I'm getting older, realizing man, I love nature.
Yeah. So. No, it's good for the soul. Even going outside and screaming in general, like just releasing that stress. Because everybody wants to scream, but nobody wants to do it because they feel like they have to be in control. And it's like, bro, just let it go. Just go crazy.
I don't scream outside now.
Yeah. But you could. Like, what's stopping you?
Yeah.
Other than your own fears of how you'll be perceived if they see some crazy black dude outside screaming, which is understand the society that we live in.
Is there a law saying that you cannot do that?
No, there's no law. There's laws, but I mean, there's free will at the end of the day, so you can do whatever you want. Essentially, you just have to face the consequences and the repercussions of your actions.
If you had to choose between never going outside again or never using your phone or any form of technology, what are you selecting?
I feel like this should be an easy one. I feel like the answer would be I would always go outside. I would choose going outside, being able to go outside. Yeah, I would. That's a no-brainer. Because fortunately enough, how old are you, Andrew?
29.
29. How are you, Joshua?
32.
32. Okay, so we all grew up in the age where it's we all used to go outside and play basketball, manhunt, ding dong ditch, just go crazy, doing stupid stuff with the homies outside. We had that, and then we kind of had that shift of technology, and now you look outside, you don't barely see people playing outside and stuff, kids playing outside. So I feel like because we had that, I wouldn't want to give that up. I know that feeling. There's no world that I know that's just technology.
It's funny you say that because even now, there's times I drive around my neighborhood and I'm like, these kids are boring because when I was their age, I'm always outside.
Right.
They have to drive me in the house.
Right. Would come inside when the street lights come on and you're still pushing it.
To the point where if I came inside to get some water,
you gotta stay.
I had to stay.
You gotta stay. Yeah, don't be coming in and out this house all day long. You better pick one.
I had to come up with some tactics to make sure I had all my resources. To make sure I was gonna be outside.
See, that goes back to what we were talking about, making sure you're prepared when you go out the house.
Nowadays we're older, so we got responsibilities. So you see what the next generation are doing, and it's you don't see a soul outside. So it's just dang, y'all just inside.
Yep.
Doing what? And it's
just on the screens, bro. Playing the game or scrolling, doom scrolling, I don't know. It's crazy.
Thank you for this discussion.
You already know. Part 2, episode 2, part 2.